Understanding the Psychology of Aggression, Part 1. Clapperboard. Hook. First 30 seconds. Have you ever wondered why a person suddenly explodes in anger, even over something small? A missed call, a rude comment, or even just being stuck in traffic? But here's the real question. Is aggression something people are born with, or something their brain learns over time? Because science suggests something surprising. Aggression is not just anger. It's a complex brain response involving emotions, survival instincts, past experiences, and even biology. And once you understand it, you start seeing human behavior in a completely different way. So in this video, we're going to uncover why aggression happens in the brain, what triggers it in everyday life, the hidden psychological causes, and most importantly, how it can be controlled and reduced. Stay with me till the end, because the final part might completely change how you respond to anger, forever. Brain, what is aggression? Simple explanation. Let's start simple. Aggression is any behavior meant to harm, threaten, or control another person, either physically or emotionally. But here's the important part. Aggression is not always violence. It can be raising your voice, sarcasm or harsh words, passive-aggressive behavior, even silent anger. So the question is, why does the brain choose aggression? Brain, the science behind aggression. Inside your brain, there are two key players. This is your brain's danger detector. When it senses threat, real or imagined, it reacts instantly. 2. The prefrontal cortex, control center. This part is responsible for thinking logically, controlling impulses, making calm decisions. Now here's what happens during aggression. Backhand index pointing right, the amygdala becomes overactive. Backhand index pointing right, the prefrontal cortex becomes less active. So instead of thinking calmly, the brain reacts emotionally. That's why people often say, "I don't know what came over me." Because in that moment, logic temporarily takes a back seat. High-voltage common triggers of aggression. Let's make this relatable. Have you noticed people get angry more when they are sleep-deprived, stressed, hungry, emotionally hurt? This is not coincidence. This is biology. Even small triggers like traffic jams, feeling ignored, miscommunication, social media arguments can activate aggression in certain conditions. Ask yourself, have you ever reacted strongly to something small, but later regretted it? That's your emotional system overpowering your rational brain. DNA causes of aggression, psychological plus biological. Aggression doesn't come from just one source. It is multi-layered. Brain 1. Biological causes. Hormonal imbalance, like testosterone or cortisol changes. Brain chemistry issues, serotonin imbalance. Genetic predisposition. Brain 2. Psychological causes. Childhood trauma. Low emotional regulation skills. Learned behavior from environment. Chronic stress or anxiety. Brain 3. Environmental causes. Violent surroundings. Toxic relationships. Constant criticism. Social pressure. Brain 4. Social media influence. Yes, digital exposure matters too. Constant exposure to arguments, comparison, negative news can slowly increase irritability and emotional reactivity. Warning: risk factors that increase aggression. Some people are more prone to aggression due to lack of sleep, substance use, chronic stress, history of abuse or neglect, mental health conditions like depression or personality disorders, poor coping skills. But here's something important. Backhand index pointing right, being prone to aggression does not mean a person cannot change. The brain is flexible. It can learn new responses. Puzzle piece, real-life example, relatable scenario. Imagine this. A man comes home after a stressful day at work. He's tired, hungry, and mentally exhausted. His child accidentally spills water on the floor. Under normal conditions, he might just smile and clean it. But today he snaps. He raises his voice. Later, he feels guilty. What happened here? It wasn't just the spilled water. It was accumulated stress, low emotional energy, overwhelmed brain system. This is how aggression often works in real life. It's the final reaction to many hidden layers. Brain, how the brain learns aggression. Here's something fascinating. The brain learns patterns. If someone grows up in an environment where shouting or anger is common, the brain starts to see aggression as a normal response. So later in life, even small triggers can activate that same pattern. But here's the good news. Backhand index pointing right learned behavior can also be unlearned. Prohibited common myths about aggression. Let's break some misconceptions. Crossmark myth 1. Aggressive people are just bad people. Wrong. Aggression is a behavior, not a personality identity. Crossmark myth 2. Anger should always be suppressed. No. Suppressing emotions can actually increase stress and mental pressure. Healthy expression is better than suppression. Crossmark myth 3. Men are naturally more aggressive than women. Not always. Biology plays a role, but environment and psychology are equally important. Crossmark myth 4. Aggression cannot be controlled. Completely false. With awareness and training, aggression can be managed effectively. How to control and reduce aggression. Now let's get practical. Man in lotus position 1. Pause before reacting. Even a 5-second pause can reduce emotional intensity. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling right now? Brain 2. Identify triggers. Keep track of what usually makes you angry. Is it lack of sleep? Feeling disrespected? Stress at work? Awareness is the first step to control. Speaking head 3. Improve communication. Instead of reacting aggressively, try expressing, I feel hurt when this happens. This shifts conflict into communication. Woman in lotus position 4. Practice deep breathing. Slow breathing activates the calming system of the brain. It helps reduce amygdala overactivity. Man running 5. Physical activity. Exercise reduces stress hormones and improves mood stability. Even a 20-minute walk helps. Sleeping phase 6. Improve sleep quality. Poor sleep equals lower emotional control. Good sleep equals stronger self-regulation. Lightbulb lifestyle tips for emotional balance. Eat balanced meals. Limit caffeine and junk food. Reduce screen time before bed. Practice mindfulness or prayer. Spend time in calm environments. Talk to trusted people instead of bottling emotions. Small habits create long-term emotional stability. Brain why understanding aggression matters. When you understand aggression scientifically, something changes. You stop reacting blindly and start responding consciously. You begin to see people's stress, hidden emotional pain, environmental triggers, and instead of judgment, you develop awareness. Direct hit final summary. Let's quickly recap. Aggression is a brain response involving emotion and logic imbalance, triggered by stress, biology, and environment. Often learned but changeable. Not a personality flaw, but a behavior pattern. And most importantly, backhand index pointing right aggression can be controlled with awareness, practice, and emotional regulation skills. Glowing star call to action. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever reacted emotionally and later regretted it? Tell me in the comments. I read every response. If this video helped you understand human behavior better, thumbs up like this video. Bell subscribe for more psychology and health insights. Outbox share it with someone who needs emotional balance in their life. Because sometimes, understanding your mind is the first step to changing your life. Understanding the psychology of aggression, part 2. Brain stage 1, the build-up phase of aggression. Before aggression appears, the brain doesn't suddenly explode. There is a build-up phase. It usually looks like this. Irritation begins. Emotional tension increases. Thoughts become negative. Body starts reacting. Heart rate increases, muscles tighten. Small triggers feel bigger than they are. This is the most important stage, because this is where control is still possible. But most people miss it. Ask yourself, backhand index pointing right, do you notice your anger early, or only after it takes over? Warning stage 2, the trigger point, the explosion moment. At this stage, something small pushes the brain over the edge. It could be a word, a tone, a memory, a misunderstanding. Now the amygdala, emotional brain, becomes hyperactive, and the prefrontal cortex, logical brain, struggles to keep control. This is why people often say, I didn't mean it. I just reacted. I lost control. Because at that moment, the emotional brain is leading. DNA, the hidden psychology, why some people react faster. Not everyone has the same aggression threshold. Some people react quickly, others stay calm longer. Why? Brain 1. Childhood conditioning. If someone grew up in a loud, reactive environment, their brain becomes sensitive to conflict. Brain 2. Emotional trauma. Unhealed emotional pain creates a lower tolerance for stress. Brain 3. Chronic stress load. A stressed brain is like an overloaded system. It reacts faster. Brain 4. Lack of emotional skills. If a person was never taught how to manage emotions, aggression becomes the default response. So the real question is not, why are they angry? But instead, what has trained their brain to respond this way? Brain aggression versus assertiveness. Very important difference. Let's clear a major confusion. Crossmark aggression. Hurting others. Losing control. Emotional explosion. Regret afterward. White heavy check mark assertiveness. Calm communication. Respecting others and self. Controlled expression. No regret. Many people confuse aggression with strength. But psychology is clear. Backhand index pointing right. Real strength is emotional control, not emotional explosion. Man in lotus position. The brain reset technique. Psychologist-approved tools. Now let's talk about control methods used in real therapy. Small blue diamond 1. The 90-second rule. Research suggests that the initial chemical wave of emotion lasts about 90 seconds. If you do not feed it with thoughts, it naturally reduces. So instead of reacting, backhand index pointing right, stay silent for 90 seconds. Backhand index pointing right, focus on breathing. Backhand index pointing right, let the emotional wave pass. Small blue diamond 2. Label the emotion technique. Instead of reacting, say in your mind, I am feeling anger right now. This activates the logical brain and reduces intensity. Small blue diamond 3. Cognitive reframing. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Will this matter tomorrow? Am I reacting or responding? This shifts perspective instantly. Small blue diamond 4. Physical grounding. When emotions rise, press feet on the ground. Relax shoulders. Slow breathing. This signals the brain, I am safe. Broken heart real-life scenario. Transformation example. Imagine the same situation from part 1. A stressed father comes home tired. His child spills water again. Earlier, he used to shout, but now he applies awareness. He pauses. He breathes. He realizes, I am not angry at my child. I am exhausted. Instead of reacting, he responds calmly. He smiles and says, let's clean it together. Same situation, different brain response, completely different outcome. That is the power of emotional awareness. Can aggression be completely eliminated? Here's the truth. Aggression is a natural human emotion, so it cannot be completely removed. But it can be controlled, managed, reduced, redirected. The goal is not to become emotionless. The goal is to become emotionally intelligent. Long-term healing strategies. If someone struggles with frequent aggression, science suggests Brain 1. Therapy, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Helps change thought patterns. Woman in lotus position 2. Mindfulness training. Improves awareness of emotional triggers. Man running 3. Regular exercise. Reduces stress hormones naturally. Sleeping phase 4. Sleep regulation. Stabilizes mood and emotional control. Speaking at 5. Safe emotional expression. Talking, journaling, or expressing emotions healthfully. Prohibited final myth buster. Let's clear the biggest myth of all. Crossmark, aggressive people cannot change. That is scientifically incorrect. Brain plasticity means backhand index pointing right, the brain can rewire itself throughout life. With practice, even deeply reactive individuals can become calm, balanced, and emotionally aware. Direct hit final summary, key takeaways. Let's wrap everything into simple points. Aggression starts in the brain, not in personality. It builds up before it explodes. Triggers are often stress, trauma, or environment. Emotional awareness is the key to control. Aggression and assertiveness are not the same. The brain can be trained for calm responses. Change is always possible with practice. Glowing star final message, motivational ending. Every time you feel anger rising, you have a choice. React like the old version of you, or respond like the aware version of you. Because the real power is not in controlling others. It is in controlling yourself. And the moment you master that, you don't just change your reactions, you change your entire life. Call to action. If this video helped you understand yourself or others better, thumbs up like this video. Speech balloon comment. I choose control over reaction. Subscribe for more psychology and health education. Outbox share this with someone who struggles with anger. Because sometimes, one video can change the way a person understands their mind forever. Thank you for watching.